This video's fun fact is, when eating candy corn, 47% of people eat the whole piece at once, 43% of people eat the white end first, and 10% eat the yellow end first. Now you know. When it comes to the video game industry, one thing that's been super popular as of recent has been those classic systems, whether you're talking about the NES and SNES Classic from Nintendo, or whether you're talking about Sony jumping on the bandwagon with the PS1 Classic, which a lot of people aren't too thrilled with what Sony's doing with the PS1 Classic. Anyway, you can just see that these classic systems are just a really good idea. I think they're a very good idea. The fact that you have a whole bunch of games in a small box, and the fact you can plug it into your TV with all the games built on, I just think it's very good for the casual or the average consumer. You don't have to run out, buy all the games for a system. You don't have to try to hook it into your TV, and you're getting more for your value because they actually add stuff to those classic systems like save states. You can change like the aspect ratio. You can put filters over the games to make it look more retro. They plug into a modern TV, just more convenient. Overall, I just think those are very good ideas. Well, it looks like there's even more coming to the market. There's actually a brand new one that's supposedly coming to the market in 2019, or at least that's what they have planned for this classic system. And the classic system I'm about to talk about is the PC Classics. A lot of people right now are talking about the PC Classic systems, and at first, just like everybody out there, I absolutely thought this was a joke. I was like, there is no way there's gonna be a PC Classics. How many people are actually nostalgic for old PC games? Why are they making PC Classics? What I'm thinking is they just want to try to bank off the success of all the hype around these classic systems, because we know they're very popular, and they know people will buy these classic systems. But yes, indeed, the PC Classics one right now is absolutely real, and they're trying to make this thing a reality. The reason I say they're trying to make this thing a reality is because it's not confirmed it's coming to the market. They have a dream and they want to make it a reality. The thing is, though, they need your guys' help by crowdfunding this thing. So they want money to back this thing, and we all know what happens when you talk about crowdfunding, whether it be Kickstarter or Indiegogo. A lot of times these things don't come out, you lose your money, so it's very hard to justify a lot of products, whether it's Indiegogo or Kickstarter. It's pretty much a risk over reward. It's risky to back these products because you never know if the company actually goes under. You never know if they purposely take your money and just never develop the thing. Who knows what the case may be, but it's always a risky idea to back stuff. Once in a blue moon, you do get a product that does come out and it is a reality and it's actually really good, and they do promise what they said in their Kickstarter or their Indiegogo campaign. It absolutely works out, but it's always a gray area. Should you back these things or should you not back this thing? Now, the company that's trying to make the PC Classics the PC Classics game system is actually based around Maryland, and they're absolutely a small company. They're not really all that big of a company. That's why they need to crowdfund this thing on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, whatever the platform is, to try to get all the funds necessary to actually build this thing. Now, they do actually have a video up right now talking about how they want to make this, talking about what to run on this. We already have images of this, so this thing is more already kind of in the early development stages. So they kind of already have like a prototype out there. They already have this thing fully functional and fully working. They just need money to get all the games on it, because as you know, with a lot of these classic systems, whether you're talking about the NES, SNES Classic, or even the PS1 Classic, the biggest thing with these classic systems is the fact that the games, putting the games on these classic systems can be very expensive, especially if you don't hold the license or the rights to all these games. You're going to have to go out and actually find the licenses, get the rights to actually put these on your classic systems. And you guys know, a lot of the time it is very expensive to get a lot of these games on the actual box itself, and that's why this company wants to actually crowdfund this thing so they can make sure they can have all the money available to put all these games on the PC Classics box. Now, the PC Classic box kind of looks like one of those old retro PCs back from the late 80s or early 90s and things like that, and it kind of reminds you of like a smoker box. People who smoke kind of have that color. It just overall, it just really doesn't look all that good. I know they're really trying to hit nostalgia by having this old like yellowish color PC Classic box, but honestly, if you ask me, it really doesn't look all that good, and I really don't find it all that appealing. Luckily, the company behind this said if it does come out and they do actually get this thing working and everything like this, and they finally ship them, you will be able to buy this in 2 different colors. So don't worry about the yellowish smoker color, because we all know what happens to those devices years and years after you've already owned them. They start to yellow, and it starts to look like piss. It just starts to look really ugly and really disgusting. But I know that's how PCs were back in the day, so of course they're going to go with that color for the base model when it comes to this thing. And right now they really haven't announced any games that's coming to the PC Classics, but of course when it comes to old PC games back on DOS or back on Windows and things like that, they're going to be going with some games that are going to be staples. One game they've already had running on the video that they already made is the fact that it's going to be running some type of Doom. So of course Doom's going to be on there. That's really a staple when it comes to PC gaming. And outside of that, I got to be honest with you guys, I really don't know how many other games they're going to be putting on this. They want to put at least like 30 or 40 games into this, so they want to make sure the library is robust as possible when it comes to these old PC games. I myself can't really name any PC games that should be on this box, just because I really didn't grow up with PC gaming, so this isn't really for me, to be honest. I'm not really nostalgic about old retro PC games, whether you're talking about Windows or whether you're talking about DOS, Mac, whatever the case may be. I'm not really nostalgic for those games since I didn't grow up with these games, so this box isn't really for me. But yeah, I'm sure there's 30 or 40 games out there easily that this company could think about and could actually put on this PC Classic box. And I'm sure when they actually get all the games on this, I'm sure it's going to be a killer lineup, and I'm sure a lot of people may be actually pretty excited for this thing. But who knows if they're actually going to get all the licensing for these games. But they claim they'll be able to get all the licensing for these games, all the music for these games, everything will be up and running. Now when it comes to this console, you can already see what type of ports are going to be on this console. We have things like an RCA cable or AV cable, so you can plug this in to an old CTR TV. If you have an old CTR TV, it looks like, with the red, white, and I think red, white, and blue jacks that you normally put on those old CTR TVs, and then you're going to have HDMI. They said they want to ship the PC Classics, actual PC Classics system with an actual controller. I find that kind of odd because this is a PC Classic system overall, so why not ship this thing with a keyboard and mouse, because that's the way these games are meant to be played. As you can see on the video that they currently have up for this PC Classic system, you can see the guy in the videos actually playing this PC Classic system they made with a controller, and he's not actually using a keyboard and mouse. I just find that really odd. If you're going to be playing these old PC games, wouldn't you want to replicate the experience you had way back in the day with a keyboard and mouse? But I guess not. I guess what they're trying to do with the PC Classics is they want to make it as accessible as possible to people, and a lot of people have TVs, and a lot of people just have easier time just connecting them to your TV. You don't have to find space for a keyboard, you don't have to find space for a mouse, because of course if you don't have a desk, what can you do when you have a TV? It's going to be hard to try to put a keyboard and mouse on your lap and try to maneuver it that way. They have said this thing will support keyboard and mouse, so don't worry about that. Even though it's not going to be included in the box, it is going to support keyboard and mouse on this system, so you can relive your childhood if you want to play these old retro PC games authentically with a keyboard and mouse. You can do that as well. Overall, I just think this thing's a very interesting concept, how this company's trying to bring this PC Classics system to the market, and they're actually trying to have this thing come out. Again, who knows if this thing's actually ever going to come out. They promise it's going to come out, and they want you to back this item so it can become a reality, and so you can have the nostalgia you grew up as a kid. But honestly, I just thought this thing was very funny and very weird how this company is trying to make this PC Classic box. It's just very funny to me, and I honestly, like everybody else out there on the internet, I honestly thought this was a big freaking joke. But nope, it's not a big freaking joke. They're actually trying to bring this to the market. The one thing I can say is, which this thing doesn't really have, is it doesn't really have a lot of it doesn't really have a brand to it, so it's not going to be like your Nintendo, Sony with the PlayStation brand, Xbox brand, Genesis brand, whatever the case may be. There's no branding to it, so you're going to have to be nostalgic for these games, and you're really going to have to play a lot of be familiar with a lot of these PC games. If you're not really familiar with a lot of old PC games, then this may not be nostalgic for you. I'm honestly curious to see how well this is going to be, how well this is actually going to sell if this actually comes out to market, because we don't have big brands backing it, and we don't have, it's not a Nintendo game company. It's not a Sony game company. It's not a Microsoft game company. It's not a Sega game company. So it's going to be very interesting. And honestly, I really don't know about this whole thing. It seems like a very good idea. And for people who are nostalgic for old classic PC games, then yes, this may float their boat, and this may be something that they're interesting. I'm sure some people out there are going to end up backing this system. There's going to be some people actually interested in this system. I just don't know if this thing is going to be outy, because this thing right now is already officially made and they have the first one built, but they need your guys' help with backing the system and everything like that. I just thought this was a very interesting thing. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.